Right, it's 3:45 p.m. on August 12th. Call to order Town of Kingston Board of Water Commission meeting. Bills have been signed over here. We have minutes to approve.
Before we sign, or we say that the bills have been signed, I have one bill here that I need a full explanation on why we are being charged $440.63 for a police detail to attend a water commissioners meeting that was held at Town Hall, and under what reasonable thought process, if there was one, that we needed a detail, whether it was in town or out of town. Now, to think that, someone thinks that being passionate about our position as far as commissioner or superintendent or office manager requires that we have a detail present at our meetings, then I suggest maybe, if that's the case, maybe we need a detail at every meeting. Because my passion for protecting the residents of the town of Kingston has not wavered one iota. And if I'm the one who caused the chairman to ask for detail from the town administrator, while he's in Montana, I'm first of all, I'm upset that in fact you felt so little of myself, Mr. Baraka, or Mrs. Smith, that you felt that we were that much of a danger to you, 2,500 miles away, or to Bob Koska sitting next to me at the meeting.
It had nothing to do with that. It was just something that was recommended to have at Town Hall, and I didn't see any reason why not to.
There have been disruptions. There have been disruptions at meetings pretty much all over the South Shore. And given the nature of the discussion we were having and the impact it might have on other people in town, we thought it was in the best interest to be safe rather than sorry. And it had nothing to do with you or Chris or Stacy.
I find that one personally appalling that you felt that way.
That felt
You basically loaded the meeting with your friends, and that's fine. That's what the meeting was for. I mean, the fact that on August 22nd, we as a board voted 3-0 to hold off on any changes to the moratorium until August 12th, and that's part of the minutes that you're going to approve shortly, only to find out that within 48 hours we had a meeting being called, and the meetings being run by Zoom. Town council earlier in the day on that particular day explained very clearly that there is no discussion about water department business that should occur other than at this table, or in fact there is a legal meeting going on. It shouldn't occur whether or not it's over the phone or whatever it's done. I think that we need a third party from another committee to write motions for us and to be the intermediary in between our meetings. Again, I find appalling. I'm in the minority, I understand that, but I'm not resigning, and I will be here as long as I'm an elected member of this board.
Your objections are heard and noted. So going on with the minutes.
we approve the minutes of July 8th as published.
Okay, second.
I can't second it, I wasn't here.
You were here on the July 8th.
No, I wasn't.
Okay.
I was in
That's right.
probably Vancouver.
I'll second that, and those are approved. And then if you want to move the minutes from July 22nd, since Bob Koska was not here then.
I'll move that the meeting minutes for July 22nd be approved as submitted.
Second and approved.
I'll abstain.
All right. No appointments. We have Kristen. Are you online there, or
She's not in attendance.
she's not here either? Okay. Okay. All right. So Chris.
All right, so I've been in touch with Pine Fellow. They've been out with their survey crews, plotting out the road alignment for the preferred route. So they've been out there doing that, so meeting well. Paperwork is moving along well. We have a meeting coming up on Monday for another update. So things are progressing very well along with the well project.
Related to the road preferred road thing, I heard from Don May. He's wondering about the donation of that property. Have we moved on that at all? Do we want to
So
accept?
that was gonna be one of my other discussions here, but we can jump right to that now. So,
Okay.
the May family, Mr. May, has inquired again if the water department is interested in accepting that land donation to the water department. That's open for discussion for the board and for.
We discussed before, I thought we were pretty much on improvement of it.
I thought we had discussed it, I thought we
Yeah, I
had
don't think,
talked,
I don't think we
What?
voted.
thought we had talked positively about that.
Yeah.
Is there any reason you can think of that we would?
I don't see why we wouldn't, it's an option to grab a parcel of land.
Buffer
It's a-
some of the
it's a
area.
Donation, it may give us open options to, another means of access out to Thornton Farm Road area. From that very close proximity to the well site property. So I wouldn't be in the best interest of the water.
There's nothing there besides some residential area, it's not like any sort of like, something nasty that we have find underneath the surface someday.
No, it was thick woods out of the big parcel land that the May family had owned, that they subdivided up and created, estates on. So I mean, here's the layout, highlighted area, is the parcel.
Yeah, I remember saying.
Signs right up. 1114 is what subsequent property over here that's owned by the town currently.
It was 21.
Two dash one, I'm not sure, I think that, what I understand is part of the power company has their easements, but I mean, if we can secure an easement.
Yeah.
So 20 easements in the future, for access, for redundancy, it would be best interest of our.
Is the road that we're gonna put into the new well, vulnerable to hurricanes and trees coming down with this winter and stuff?
I think every road would be access.
Okay, so I think a second access would be valuable.
I don't think we necessarily give us direct access because where it leads to is right where a private parcel in the water parcel currently meet. So it's a fine line right there where four lots join the corner. But it gets you right into that close proximity that I think. Where its location is, I think it'd be beneficial in the future. So I would recommend if the water department could obtain that as a land donation for the May family. I would strongly recommend.
Then I move that we respond to the May family positively, that we are definitely interested in taking possession of the land if they want to donate it.
Any negative discussion at all?
Second that motion.
All right.
I think the other thing that should be noted is that at some point in the future, should we be able to obtain a right of way across that corner lot, that we in fact start to think about whether or not we should be running a main from the well area at Trackle Pond down to Clearing Farm Road, which ultimately may give us the ability to do something that we should have done long before, and that's to upgrade the fire protection system that was installed when the original buildings on Pine Ridge Road were.
That's a bit of a distance away from this location. This is.
But it gives us another ability without going down Bishop's Highway in order to do it. May make it a little bit easier. It's something, at least it gives us the ability to do in the future. I'm not saying that we need to jump on it because it's been what it is for a very long period of time.
Where on this map is the new well?
Right.
Right near this parcel. Okay, and the other spot we were looking at, putting an additional well, is in this direction?
Yeah.
Right, I just wanted good visuals.
Keep going, Chris.
So I would recommend the water department pursue obtaining that land donation from the May family.
So directed.
So I don't know if we need to hold off and wait till the next meeting to get a formal motion on the agenda for that. That would be a
That was a good
question
point.
for Stacy. So I'd reach out to the May family and get a placeholder on for that and further with that.
Okay, so pending a check-in with Stacy, we took a vote, but whether or not that's valid, we'll check with next.
Moving on, the Water Main Street project, as stated before, there's the punch list items, been in touch with CC Construction, they're working on a plan with Lawrence Lynch to get those few issues in the roadway mitigated prior to the start of school. I made a request that that work be done prior to the start of school. Other than that, any night work that's required for night work be at CC's expense. It's outside the scope of work, bunch of warranty stuff. So, but they worked on that. We did receive a proposal from Verizon. They'd like to install new equipment on the Elm Street water tank. Currently, right now, they're seeking a site access permission to get in there to do some measurements, site evaluation, soil analysis, make sure it's not a contaminated site, and then work on a development plan of what their scope of work would be with a proposed contract in the coming time.
They don't currently have one on Elm Street.
No, Verizon currently has no equipment on Elm Street.
Any idea what they need what they're looking at in particular? Is it just cable, or are they looking for a temporary generator, or?
I haven't seen anything as far as a backup power supply goes, but it's, they want to get in there and see what they have for space on the ground and space on the tank. And then they'll come back with a proposal, what they're proposing to add on the tank for aerial equipment and on the ground support equipment. And
Is there room to put the more ground support equipment in the confined area?
Yes.
Okay.
So there's, in my opinion, there's a sufficient area on the ground and on the tank.
Okay.
I was in touch with USG, our asset management team, and they would want to do a pre and post tank inspection prior to work. Already.
And that will be charged to Verizon, right?
Correct. And it's spelled out that any work, any welding that takes place on the tank, refinishing will be performed by USG as they just refinish the tank and will be done to their standards with their equipment.
Yeah. Well, that matters in that, I mean, in this agreement they have here, it's a different location, our spot, whether or not this is going to the town lawyer. We looked at.
This, I
Or is
think
this
primarily
just a
right now, that was just a sample specimen of what the contract wording and verbiage would look like.
Okay.
The biggest thing we got to look for is the site access. I think that's the first little bit of the page there that they're looking for, just to get access to see if it's truly a feasible site for them before they commit.
But again, I think the chairman raises a good question. If we're signing something and it appears like they're looking for a signature, we need to make sure that the document that they're asking us to sign, that they ultimately sign, reference the piece of property that we're talking about, and not the town of DeWitt or Nigger County, New York.
Yeah, it is referred to Exhibit A,
Yeah.
which is our spot, but they're just a typo.
Before it gets signed out, now that, if you guys are willing to entertain allowing Verizon to put equipment on there, I'll send that site access document to town council for review. And then we'll then approve by the board to send back to Verizon.
It'll improve phone service and we'll get additional revenue into the water department in town, so it's win-win.
Yes, yep, and it'll be up to the board and the board of selectmen to negotiate what the terms of the contract would be as far as charge for rent. I mean, it's a pretty vital spot for Verizon. They need that as a vital spot, so we can work on a rental price agreement, based on that. Any other questions on that?
No, that's good.
Before we get on to that last mention it there, land donation. Just an update that Evan Donnelly, our latest hire, he has successfully passed his T1 license test. So he's in the process now of applying for that license along with his D1. And he's currently enrolled in the heavy equipment operating class for his operator's license to run the equipment. So he's doing a great job. He's been a great asset to the department. He's a great.
Sounds
driver.
ambitious, that's good.
Yeah.
He's the one just started this spring, the new one?
Yes, yep.
Very good.
He successfully completed and passed the D1 class, obtained that license, then he passed the T1.
Excellent.
Now we just signed him up for his T2 and D2 classes, so he's eager to get licensed and be, a full-fledged practicing member of the team. Good. Last thing I have is the letter from the DEP that I received from Jim McLaughlin regarding corrective measures that we need to take and work on. like to take and have time, there's a meeting that's scheduled for Tuesday, August 19th.
The Zoom, it's not Zoom, it's
Teams.
can I
Teams.
do it?
It's online.
Online?
Yeah. So
So
there'll probably be a link coming.
You just get a link and click on the link and
if there's gonna be more than one member attending, we do need to post it for a meeting for the water commission, so if you guys just wanna,
I'm doing the fair stuff, so if you just won't have one member there. Does anyone want to attend?
I recommend that in fact we post the meeting so that if Bob and myself, I plan to be there. And Bob decides that he wants to be, that it's done legally. I think it's important that we do it, because I think it's important that we have Stacy there to take whatever notes that she feels are necessary beyond the ability to copy the Zoom. And the other part, and please let me finish just for a second. I want to make sure that we have Kristen there reading through this notice that we've all seen now. There's a great deal of information that's going to be necessary for Chris and Stacy to put together and to complete the many different aspects of this, a lot of which is going to require a great deal of engineering expertise and knowledge of what the Kingston water system is. And hopefully that Kristen will continue to be the department's engineer, and that in fact she will be available to both Chris and Stacy on a regular basis, as she has been anytime they've had questions about the engineering aspects of how the water department operates.
Is Stacy gonna be back this week?
We don't, again, when I talked to her yesterday,
Yeah.
when I talked to her yesterday, I suggested to her, even though she said she may be coming back with her brother because her brother could only be there. I basically told her I think it was more important that she be in New York with her mother, and no matter how strong a person is a whole emotional aspect. So whether or not she's here tomorrow
My
or Friday, oh no.
My concern is posting the meeting. 'Cause you have to do that
I
at the same
talked to
time.
her briefly because I didn't know whether she was coming back. She was gonna put something together so that Laurie could get it. If it's the 19th, really, she doesn't have to do it until probably Tuesday of next week. So. Yeah, I overstepped my bounds, but given what was happening with her family, I felt that.
Tuesday is the meeting next week.
correct.
So she'd have to do it by Friday.
You have to do it by Thursday, actually,
Thursday?
because Friday town hall's closed.
So can Lori said who's the backup person?
Yeah, Laurie,
Laurie,
facilitate.
between
ask her
Laurie
to
and Chris,
post
they
it?
can
Okay,
get
yeah,
posted.
And then leave Stacy out of it for now.
Again, I think we
See if
want
she
to
can
make sure
attend, she
that
can make it.
we reach out to Kristen and ask, as the board, that Kristen be there, that she understands that
Right.
she is our engineer.
I'll contact her then, or is that the preferred method, chair contact, or Chris, do you want to contact her, how do we usually run it?
I think it might be good that you reach out to her.
Okay. I don't have any, I mean, how we get the link and all that kind of stuff, this stuff, there's.
Yeah, all
You
that
have all the
stuff
stuff?
from the
Okay.
DEP sent it to me, so.
Alright.
And
So
then send it to whoever
I'll
else
loop you in as
participates.
well, Chris, so we can have that whole thing go.
Great.
Alright. So anything else going on with that, we want to discuss on this, or you want to take some time to take a look at it?
I've
Discuss
pretty
next
much
week?
read it when I got it yesterday. It was small print, but I read it.
Okay, I didn't,
It's small print, but there's gonna be big dollars involved. If you look at what it says, just with the concept of inspecting or replacing every meter in the town of Kingston, but for what is it? 2030, you've got 5 years to do basically every meter in town. And since we had that one company come in and show us what their meter did, and we haven't done anything beyond that,
The extensive research that I had done with the other comparable companies who do that line of work, their product, in my opinion, my personal opinion, was by far the best because it relies solely on the meter itself. There was no infrastructure you need to implement throughout town or maintain throughout town. You rely on any of it.
So we've been talking about replacing meters anyway, right?
Yes.
This forces us to,
Yes.
but this was something we had had on our agenda, probably one of the more expensive things we've had on our agenda going forward. And I wasn't here for that presentation, but from the people that were here, I'm pretty confident that a significant amount of unaccounted for water is for meter reading.
Yes, I spoke to different vendors, different companies at trade shows. I've contacted other superintendents that were having similar issues with unaccounted for water, and they started replacing meters, particularly the commercial larger size meters, and their unaccounted for water went down drastically fast. Because it's the meters are aged, they've been there since the nineties, and the reliability on them is pretty diminished.
So we gotta do it anyway, so at least.
Yeah, it's nice to say we've gotta do it anyways. It's a little bit different when we're being told exactly when it has to be completed by. December 30th.
I think that's probably negotiable with them. That's what the whole purpose of the meeting on the 19th.
I hope you're right, because, going to town meeting and asking for somewhere in the range of $5 million for a well. And then probably going to town meeting and looking for in excess of $2 million to replace meters is gonna be a hard sell. Had we not had this enforcement order placed upon us for whatever reasons, and each of us may have our own opinion on how that occurred or why it occurred. The fact that we've got to ask every resident or homeowner in the town of Kingston to help pay for not only the well, which is absolutely necessary, and the meters, which may in fact be absolutely necessary, but may not be absolutely necessary in the time frame we're talking about.
Do we have any other vendors that we're looking at? 'Cause I know we talked before about getting from other vendors and just hear theirs, even though first one seemed pretty decent, just to compare it to. Is that still in the works?
We can arrange that. Like I said, I looked at two other vendors. Their product was not comparable at all. It was more involved product, and they required setting poles or renting pole space and having radio transmitters throughout town. That it's a worry for lightning strikes. It's a worry for automobile crashes. Any other maintenance issues. It's on an elevated pole, so it's something that we can do on the road. Whereas this particular company, it's all cellular based, so it relies on nothing. There's no other infrastructure that goes in. And when that meter leaves here, it's bound and programmed to that address, so it eliminates the MX user from having to go out and have to install after the meter's been purchased. It
definitely
lot
seemed the
less-
best option, but
a lot
we have
fewer
to.
moving parts.
I think it's important that they hear that we also are looking at other
Yeah.
people, because that might affect the
And everything
price.
we require to
Again,
get
that was basically what we talked about, even though we all agreed that that was by far probably the best meter we could go out and purchase. In order to do it correctly, we need to have a range, and then we can make an evaluation based on the range of meters and how they operate and what impacts there are on staff and the town as a whole. And that's the only reason I felt that
For
have
sure.
somebody else come in and tell us how good their meter is. Then we'll make an evaluation using an engineer that understands.
And having all of the information, so we know what the other things are. It's like Chris was saying, if we gotta put anything up on poles or anything like that, it's a whole different ballgame.
I would ask you to ask Chris to reach out to whatever other company or companies may be available.
Yeah, I will absolutely reach out to the two other companies I spoke to and have them schedule a presentation for me.
I was noticing they had my wrong email address on here. That's why I didn't get this ahead of time. They have instead of a L, it's a 1 for my email. So, well, I didn't.
Oh, wait, you're talking about,
Okay.
oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's not me. Probably not anybody, probably Thomas, but I don't
But it
know
should have
who-
bounced
It
back.
should have bounced back to DEP. and they
Yeah.
should have- They,
Yeah.
It should have reached out.
they didn't reach out to me and said they had.
That's why I haven't done this yet, so my apologies. All right, do you have any other discussion on that here right now, or just hold it for next Tuesday?
Yeah.
All right, new business, the convent is getting the rehab center, it looks like, number one.
Yeah, so I just want to point out a few things with that, reading through their proposal, I think it's a great repurposing of that. I think it's neat facilities of all sorts, I think it's a great opportunity for the town to, bring that in. But I think that a couple of things that I was reading through in their proposal that I just want to bring to your attention is that that is all in a zone 2. They are looking to increase their number of parking spaces with impervious coverage, so I don't know if that needs to be revisited with the impervious land coverage, yeah. For water quality before.
But they do have a fairly large piece of land there, right?
I don't know what they're obtaining, I don't know if they're just slicing off, I know surveyors have been out there, I don't.
That's a good point. They're gonna slice off enough so that if they add parking, it's within acceptable limits for our zone 2.
Yeah, so I think, I just want to bring that to your attention, and also on this stuff here, it said that they had looking to reconnect to the town water and town sewer, which none of that infrastructure is out there. And it goes on to say that the site is served by an upgraded on-site septic system. This is public water, the property is served by an existing on-site public water supply system, which will be reactivated in coordination with state and local agencies. So I don't know if they're considering their private well as a public water supply that qualifies for the BSS type of thing or transient system. I just want to make sure that that's clarified, that there is no town water out there that serves that property.
I would recommend that something be sent in writing to the planning board stating that, the issues that Chris has just brought up, that it's not a public water supply, that there is no public response to that. Anything that they're hooking up to is completely private and on-site, and that this board or this town has no responsibility to upgrade, repair, or replace anything that's there. And then beyond that, ask that in fact that the water commission be provided a site plan showing the existing parking facilities and whatever additional parking facilities they're requesting, so that we can make sure that it's in compliance with the overlay district's, requirements for percentage of impervious surface.
It says that by Grady Consulting, I think they're aware of issues out there, I hope.
I suspect they will if they're talking to planning board, but you never know.
It's all good that it's being done by Grady Engineering. Grady Engineering is being paid to do this by Longview Realty LLC. They are the ones paying Grady to do it.
Yeah.
While they may be aware of what it is, the same issues still, are relevant, whether or not, they're aware of what the town regulations are or not.
Chris, can you see to that then?
Yeah, I'll draft up a letter, I just wanted to get the motion from you guys,
Okay.
to make sure that we want to make sure they're made aware of it, it's in a zone 2 for water quality certificate for impervious land. And notification that there is no current municipal water supply out there, it's a private well. So those are my 2 big
Okay.
highlights of that I want to bring to your attention.
Motion by,
Let's see.
I'll make a motion to have the superintendent to draft a letter to the planning board, identifying the parcel as a parcel that has a private water system, and it's not connected to the town of Kingston nor do the water department, nor does the town of Kingston or water department have any responsibilities for maintaining, upgrading, or repairing the water system as it's currently available,
And zone 2 issues with impervious.
and the zone two with the impervious material.
Okay, that'll be my
Second.
Second, also voting,
Right, I'll formulate a response to the ZBA. I'm sorry, the,
Planning board.
I would.
yes. Yeah. Right, very good.
I remember this one, from Chilton. So, I remember this one last time.
I reviewed this with Stacy, she just wanted me to highlight some things with this. June 24th, the board asked for resubmission of request with proof of repair.
Yep.
The resident did submit the bills of the repair. The repair was in fact completed. So there's that document that the board had asked for.
Mhm.
And she was asking for relief for both March and June bills. The initial request was made June 18th. It was past the 30 days for the March bill. So therefore, if we're looking at the consumption report there, we wouldn't be able to obey all that she's asking, it only be.
Just the one,
She
430.
missed that, unfortunately, missed the time window for that.
That's the 430 number is the one we're able to do, not the
Correct.
one that that's the.
Correct, that's correct, yes.
All right. Any discussion, though, this seems like,
No, it seems like, we're talking about a complete abatement or reduction to the lowest price.
usually we're just the lowest price for just for the June bill.
Correct.
We have a motion for that,
So moved.
second,
Okay.
and so voted.
Again, I don't have a problem doing it, but I almost don't think that we should be doing abatements for replacing valves and fittings, because it leaked. There is some responsibility to each and every resident that is hooked up to the town system to know that in fact, something's wrong.
Yeah, well, that goes to the meters that we're talking about.
Well,
too,
it does to meters, but beyond that, all I'm saying is, just because you have a leak doesn't mean you need to abate the bill.
Precedents have been set many times on that, which to stop would be.
Maybe it just depends on the reason too. I mean,
Yeah.
if they've got a broken spigot in the yard that's spewing out water and they don't do anything about it, I'm sorry, you're paying the whole bill. You've seen it, you've seen your yard flood, and you're not doing anything about it. But if it's something that you can't see or they don't realize until they get the bill. But again, they get a bill in March, no, they didn't, they get a bill in June.
No, we got one in March too, that was equal in amount.
And that's what drew their attention.
But not until I didn't contact her later, so.
All I'm saying is,
Unfortunately.
they have a responsibility too.
I don't disagree.
That's
with
all
you.
I'm saying.
I don't disagree.
All right, there's a couple things I wanted to bring up here. I stopped by before, talking to Stacy and Chris about possibly doing like an appreciation sort of lunch for the workers for basically, every summer we ask so much from them and they've stepped up and done it, and it'd be nice to thank them in some way. What's better than food? So I was just checking to see. I know as we get towards the end of the month, once school starts for me, I'm like not really available, but thinking like a lunch maybe possibly on Tuesday the 26th, which is right before our next meeting. I'm here anyways. Does that seem like something you guys want to participate in? My proposal would be that we would shell out whatever for pizzas, or if we want to grill out here, I don't know what we want to do food wise. That can be a discussion for if you guys agree to that.
I think it's a good idea.
But any thoughts?
I think it's more important that you find out who the guys are and what they really mean to the department, what their lives are like,
That's
as
kind
well
of-
as finding out how the system works, rather than feeding them.
Well, that's kind of the goal. I feel bad I don't know these guys very well.
Well,
So I kind of want to meet them.
Guess what, you don't have to feed them to meet them. They're here every day at lunchtime, When you walk in and you walk out and they don't know who you are, you're not doing a very good job as a commissioner.
No, that's why I
They
want
know,
to fix that.
they know each one, they know me. Because I not only come in when they're working, I'll come in and I'll joke with them. I know a little bit about them because I think it's important that we do that. And I don't have to feed them to do that. If
Well,
you wanna buy them lunch, that's fine.
kind
But
of.
I also think that maybe, doing it midweek may not be the best idea. When I talked to Stacy about this concept that you had floated out, she thought a good day would be a Friday, when in fact, town basically slows down because the powers to be are closed
Town
anyway.
hall's closed.
Okay, yeah, so the Friday works as well that week for me, but, I wish I had more free time during the days to come by here, but as someone who's still gainfully employed, it's very limited, and summer has been kind of crazy, so I should have done more of the summer. But I still think it's a valid idea, and I would like to pursue it, even if, others don't. I might just do it myself to come in here and do that, but I want to at least see if you guys are interested as well to join in.
I think it's a good way to get to meet and talk with them, and if it's on company time, then we're not keeping them.
Well,
from
there's lunch
something.
hour, I don't know if
Yeah.
I'm gonna take them off. So, maybe I don't know if I jump into the union issues with that or anything like that, but, the 29th, Friday the 29th. Chris, does that seem, wanna get back?
Yeah.
And we'll see looks like.
I can check and see what our work schedule looks like and what the guys have going on and who's gonna be here. I know the guys have vacations planned.
That is Labor Day weekend,
It is.
so,
Yep, nothing's ideal, but if that doesn't work, then, I'll do my best to stop in my own time before the summer's off, but, I thought it would be a nice touch just for, into the long hot summer, but. All right, so I'll wait to hear back from you, Chris, about possibilities and all that. The other thing is on September 16th, I think we're gonna ask Stacy to add this to the agenda, joint sewer and water meeting. One of the things that came out of the DPW conversation over the past half year or whatever, was possible efficiencies that might be pursued. Whether or not that's even doable with like personnel equipment, I'm doubtful. I know administratively I do some things. It might even just be at the more the commission level, but I was gonna,
The 16th.
yes, September 16th.
We had planned at one time to be having fairly regular meetings of the sewer department, and it fell off, and every time that happens, we get a DEP thrown at us. So I think it's probably a good idea to at least quarterly meet with them, because we do have shared responsibilities in some respects.
And on my own, I was gonna meet with sewer commissioner to discuss some of the thoughts that are out there. What could possibly be some efficiency, things like that. I'll separately reach out to Chris and Stacy about what you guys think might be possible. Again, I don't think personnel obviously does, there's not much there. Equipment, I know we have specialized stuff like that. I'm not an expert on this at all.
Equipment sharing, really
Yeah.
feasible to do a cross connection.
That's what I'm thinking too, so that stuff seems to be not really a people thing, it might just be more at the upper levels, town government sort of thing, but just some thoughts, but, alright. Otherwise, anything else going on? Other than,
I do think that we need to remember what town council told to us in executive session about discussions about water department business, and then only should occur at this table when there's an official meeting going on. It shouldn't occur because you run into one another at some other place and talking about department business. Anybody told me, and I hope nobody questions the open meeting law as far as our last meeting. I won't. I think the following the way it worked, but I will not raise it myself. But if someone does, someone's gonna have to answer how that particular meeting occurred.
noted. Alright, otherwise, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
Move to adjourn.
Alright, and approved.